Good evening and welcome to Global Lens News. I'm Sadia Afzal. Today I want to talk about xenophobia in South Africa, what it is, where it comes from, what has happened over the years and why it continues to affect so many people. Xenophobia is the fear, hatred or discrimination against foreigners or people seen as outsiders. In South Africa, this problem has become one of the country's most painful social issues, leading to violence, destructions, fear, protests, and even death. To understand xenophobia in South Africa, we first need to understand the country's history. South Africa has a long and difficult past, shaped by colonialism and apartheid. Apartheid was a system of racial segregation that lasted from 1948 until the early 1990s. Under apartheid, Black South Africans were oppressed, denied opportunities, and forced to live in poverty, while the white minority controlled most of the country's wealth and resources. When apartheid ended in 1994 and South Africa became a democracy under the leadership of Nelson Mandela, people had high hopes for a better future. Many expected jobs, housing, education, and economic opportunities to improve quickly. South Africa also became a symbol of freedom and hope across Africa. Because of this, many people from neighboring countries like Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Malawi, Somalia, Nigeria, Ethiopia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo moved to South Africa, searching for safety, work, and a better life. At first, migration into South Africa was seen as natural because the country had one of the strongest economies in Africa. But over time, problems began to grow. Unemployment remained very high. Poverty continued in many communities. Crime increased, and many South Africans felt frustrated that life had not improved as much as they expected after apartheid. In crowded townships and poor urban areas, competition for jobs, housing, and business opportunities became intense. Unfortunately, instead of blaming the government or deeper economic problems, some people began blaming foreigners. Migrants were accused of taking jobs, stealing opportunities, or increasing crime, even though many studies showed that immigrants also contributed positively to the economy by creating businesses, employing workers, and providing services in struggling communities. This growing anger eventually turned violent. One of the first major outbreaks of xenophobic violence happened in 2008. Across several parts of South Africa, especially in Johannesburg and surrounding townships, mobs attacked foreign nationals. People were beaten, stabbed, and killed. Shops owned by foreigners were looted and burned. More than 60 people died, and thousands were displaced from their homes. The attacks shocked the world because South Africa, a country known for fighting racism and injustice, was now facing accusations of hatred against fellow Africans. The violence did not completely stop after 2008. Similar attacks happened again in 2015, 2019, and during the early 2020s. Groups such as Operation Dudula became known for organizing marches against undocumented migrants and demanding stricter immigration control. Foreign-owned businesses were often targeted, especially small shops in poorer neighborhoods. Now, in May 2026, South Africa is once again facing serious tensions linked to xenophobia and anti-immigration protests. Over the past few weeks, large demonstrations have taken place in cities such as Johannesburg, Pretoria, and Durban. Protesters have demanded tougher action against undocumented migrants, claiming foreigners are responsible for unemployment, crime, pressure on healthcare, and poor public services. Some protests started peacefully, but in several areas they became violent, leading to intimidation, looting, attacks on migrants, and clashes with the police. A newer anti-immigration movement called March and March has reportedly organized demonstrations in major cities. Human rights organizations say these protests have increasingly turned into vigilante-style actions where groups stop and question people suspected of being foreigners. Some migrants have reportedly been denied access to healthcare facilities or threatened in public spaces. The South African government has strongly condemned the violence. Police were placed on high alert, and authorities announced a crackdown on anyone involved in xenophobic attacks, looting, or intimidation. Officials said arrests would be made against both violent protesters and people spreading hate or inciting attacks online. The situation became so serious that several African countries, including Ghana, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Kenya, Malawi, and Lesotho, warned their citizens living in South Africa to stay alert and avoid dangerous areas. Some governments even began helping citizens return home because of safety fears. Nigeria announced that more than 130 Nigerians had requested repatriation after the recent protests and violence. Many people are asking why these protests are happening again now. One major reason is South Africa's economic crisis. The country continues to struggle with extremely high unemployment, especially among young Black South Africans. Rising living costs, poverty, electricity shortages, and frustration with government corruption have increased public anger. In difficult conditions, foreigners are often used as scapegoats for larger social and economic problems. Human rights groups argue that migrants are unfairly blamed for issues that are actually caused by deeper structural problems in society. Social media has also worsened the situation. Videos showing confrontations with migrants have spread rapidly online, fueling anger and fear. Some videos have gone viral across Africa, creating diplomatic tension between South Africa and other African countries. Ghana formally protested to the South African government after videos surfaced showing people of Ghana being harassed and told to leave the country. However, it is important to remember that not all South Africans support xenophobia. Many South Africans strongly oppose the violence and believe Africa should stand together. Religious groups, students, activists, and community organizations have continued calling for peace, unity, and protection for migrants. Many people remind others that during apartheid, countries across Africa supported South African freedom fighters and welcomed exiles escaping oppression. The South African government itself has repeatedly stated that violence against foreigners is unacceptable and unconstitutional. But critics argue that stronger, long-term solutions are needed, including better policing, economic reform, improved border systems, education, and more support for poor communities. Xenophobia has serious consequences. Families lose loved ones, businesses are destroyed, communities become divided by fear and mistrust. It also damages South Africa's reputation internationally and creates tension with neighboring African nations. Violence pushes people into hiding and forces many migrants to live in constant fear. At its core, xenophobia is not only about foreigners. It is about poverty, inequality, frustration, and the struggle for survival in difficult economic conditions. South Africa remains one of the most unequal countries in the world, and unless these deeper issues are addressed, tensions may continue. But history also teaches an important lesson. South Africa fought against apartheid because people believed discrimination and injustice were wrong. Many believe the country can still move toward unity if people choose understanding instead of blame and compassion instead of violence. In conclusion, xenophobia in South Africa is a complex issue rooted in history, inequality, unemployment, and social frustration. From the violent attacks of 2008 to the anti-immigration protests and police crackdowns happening today in May 2026, the country continues to struggle with tensions between citizens and migrants. Yet, despite the violence, many South Africans continue working toward peace, justice, and unity. Understanding the issue reminds us that fear and hatred can divide societies, but cooperation and humanity can help build a stronger future for everyone. This is Sadia Afzal for Global Ins News.